guys, it's Kale. So today I wanted to make a video for you guys talking about nursing interviews. I've done a few now. I think I've done 3. I just finished one on my laptop. It was like a virtual one. But I'm just feeling a little bit down, and I kind of just wanted to speak to you guys about that. So I did an interview for the urgent care clinic I work at, which was successful, and then I did an interview for a casual position in the Emerge, which was good. I'm currently working in the Emerge. But those were all just like casual or like part-time positions, and so I'm looking for something more permanent, so like a full-time or part-time position. So I did apply at a hospital that's not in my city, so it's farther away for me, but you know, it was something that I wanted to do, so I've applied to a bunch of different positions at that hospital, and then, you know, I got an interview for the telemetry or cardiac unit, which is an acute care unit. And anyway, so since I'm a brand new nurse, you know, I already have, you know, that kind of against me, because they're looking for something more, you know, someone who has more experience. So I did my interview, and you know, my mind went completely blank, and you know, I'm just reflecting now, and I feel like that's the most important thing to do as a nurse, is to reflect. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about, you know, how my interview went, what it consisted of, and you know, how I'm dealing with it. So, you know, a lot of the nursing interviews are clinical based questions. So they asked me, like, you know, tell me about yourself, and then you're gonna tell them, you know, your education, your background, and then, you know, the experiences that you've had, and then they get into the clinical pieces. So I'm gonna tell you guys about this specifically, these questions that they asked me. So they asked me about 6 questions. The first one was, like, you have a patient who is newly diagnosed with congestive heart failure. What kind of orders would you expect from the doctor, and what discharge teaching would you like teach them, that sort of thing. And then, so that one, you know, you would expect furosemide, you would expect, you know, to teach them about low sodium diets, edema, compression stockings, making sure they're ambulatory, making sure they're watching for shortness of breath, that sort of thing. That was fine. I felt confident with that answer. And then we started getting into other things, like, you know, like you had a diabetic patient, you know, you gave them regular insulin, what would you expect in 4 to 6 hours, signs and symptoms of hypoglycemia, and, you know, what kind of orders or whatever. So that one was fine. That one didn't stump me. I felt confident. But then we started to get into like the cardiac questions. Now, those are what got me. You know, your patient is in the Emerge, and they have an acute MI, like what kind of orders would you expect, and then the next piece to that was like, you're taking a report from the Emerge, coming up to your unit, like what questions are you going to ask that nurse that's giving you the report. And my mind went blank. I forgot to say, you know, the lab, so the tropes and the D-dimer. I forgot to say ECG and telemetry that they would be hooked up to, and for some reason, I just focused on vital signs and fluids, which, you know, probably wasn't the best answer. But then I stopped myself, like we went on to a different question, and I stopped myself and I was like, I don't know if I said this, and they're like, what are you talking about? So anyways, wasn't a good interview. That's okay. I'm not gonna beat myself up to it. That was like my first like really serious, just because the people that were interviewing me, they seemed very like, you know, not very like friendly, I want to say. They didn't really make me feel comfortable. And then at the end of the interview, you know, usually they'll be like, okay, well, you know, we'll contact you if whatever, but they didn't say that. So they just said, yeah, thanks, bye, that sort of thing. So anyways, not gonna beat myself up for it, all good, and that's okay. And there's gonna be more interviews, there's always nursing jobs, and that's okay. You know, this is a learning experience, and the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because I know a lot of you guys are new grads, and you know, you're not used to these types of interviews, you know what I mean? So, you know, you just want to prepare yourself. Do your research is my best advice. So since, you know, I was interviewing for a cardiac unit, I should probably do some research on some cardiac stuff. So, what orders you would expect, what assessments you should do, what medications, that sort of thing is what they're looking for. And that would be my best advice to you. Do your research. I looked up like common questions that are asked on nursing interviews, which, there wasn't really many because they're mostly like clinical based, but yeah, so I will keep you guys updated if I do hear back from them. I do have another interview tomorrow for another emerge position in a different hospital, but it's owned by the same company. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be weird if it's the same people, but probably not. So I have an interview tomorrow, and that one's the emerge. So I'm gonna do my research tonight. I'm gonna study, and I'm not gonna beat myself up for what went on today. But anyways, if you guys found this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you guys would, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you guys want to see more videos, and then please, if you guys have any questions at all, leave them in the comments. I literally just record these videos just because I want to help other people. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, or you just want to tell me about your experiences, please do so. I love interacting with you guys, and yeah, for sure I will keep you guys updated on my journey and what's going on, and hopefully I hear from them, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.